ప్రేమస్వరూపులారా,
prayerfully wait for his return. I believe it will be an earth-shaking event, a spectacular, magnificent, breathtaking. I don't even have words to describe it. That's how I feel. I have shared before too that I believe the Mahdi, or the world teacher that is prophesied in the Islamic scriptures, is none other than Sathya Sai himself. I have written about this in Sai Thy Kingdom Come. There is an Islamic scripture named Biharul Anwar, in which the Mahdi's physical features are described. They match perfectly with Bhagavan's. It's all there in the book. There is a particular verse that I would like to bring your attention to in that same book, which goes like this. Behold, by Allah, your Mahdi will disappear from you. Then he will come like a blazing meteor. He will fill the earth with justice and equity, as it will be full of injustice and oppression. As we know, blazing meteor is a glorious sight in the sky, and a meteor travels extremely fast and emitting bright light and heat. The meteors also come up in the skies very unexpectedly. At this juncture, I also would like to mention this amazing prediction from Bihar Anwar, which goes like this. When he rises from death, people will say, how can this be? How can this happen? Even his bones must have decayed. So this is explaining even the wonder and awe that the people will be on to see how someone could come back after so many years since death. Now, the question is, what will be the circumstances leading up to his return? We know he left for a reason that he alone knows of. And he will reappear for a reason that he alone knows. But if we are to take some clues from Swami's own words, while he was in physical form, one thing is very clear. I believe before this miraculous times can be experienced, there could be a short period where the entire humanity could be forced to call upon the Lord as a prayer in one voice for his protection. It could be some calamity or a catastrophe or a war. In Lucas Rally's book, there is a verse, after the storm, there will be a new beginning and the atmosphere will be completely different. It will be like a new age, the age of love, harmony and cooperation, replacing the age of war, fighting, hatred, jealousy, greed, and all those negative aspects of life. After the storm, there will be a new beginning. There is this Irish Sai newsletter. It is distributed by Brother Shea Moran. In one of the newsletters, he shared a very important revelation. In the late 1990s, in Puttaparthi, he attended a talk given by Dr. Gadia from the UK. In the talk, Dr. Gadia spoke about one of Swami's revelations. a great war will come between America, Russia, and the Islamic powers, and the world will be brought to the brink of destruction. And at that moment, I will reveal myself and will end that war. And there will be no more wars after that. And one thing I found common in most powerful dreams are that Swami was returning and saving the world from some kind of destruction. Some dreams that stand out are where Swami showed them the future, like on a movie screen in a dream. And he showed them that the humanity was in a huge distress, and then he returns and saves everyone. And then he showed them a glimpse of the golden age, which was so beautiful and peaceful. You may have come across this discourse by Swami in which he says, in Krishna Avatar, one Govardhana mountain was lifted. In Sai Avatar, an entire range of mountains will be lifted. Have patience, have faith. Swami showed Tatyana in a dream how this will happen at the physical level. Some shake-up will happen in order to persuade people to pray and to turn to God. We should all remember Swami's own words that the entire world will come to him. In fact, several years ago, I've heard several of his close devotees, famous devotees, talk about Swami's divine, futuristic proclamations about how the whole world would come to him. The same devotees even remarked at that time that Swami would perform a great miracle in the future which will make everyone believe in him. Because logically, that was the only way the whole world would come to him, as Swami himself said. However, it pains me that the same devotees now are not ready to believe or accept the possibility that this great miracle could be his reappearance. In 2002, Swami said in one of the discourses, people think that though Rama and Krishna died in a very ordinary manner, that's what people think. But he said Rama and Krishna, they did not leave the body in a human way. He explained that Rama stepped into the river Sarayu and vanished. And Uddhava was a devotee of Krishna. He saw Krishna sitting under a tree, and Krishna also immediately vanished. And Krishna was not killed by a hunter as the popular belief says. Then he goes on and makes this stunning declaration: avatars will not leave their bodies in the hands of human beings. The only explanation that one could come up is that his body up at that time was just a Maya body. It's an illusionary body. One time, Swami said to a devotee in an interview, what you see in front of you is not a regular human body, it's all light or Jyoti. There is no human organs, no kidneys, no liver, nothing. Another time he said in the conversations with Hislop, do not think that this body is like the other human bodies. It's only an appearance of the form for the sake of my devotees. There is this devotee whom I know, Swami told him in an interview, I want you to take care of your health and live long so that you can witness the earth-shaking miracles that I will perform in the last few years of Sathya Sai Avatar. In one of the discourses, Swami said, during Krishna Avatar, a planet or a celestial body named Naraga, we call as Naragasura. It was actually a celestial body named Naraga, which came so close to hitting the earth, and it was threatening to crash into the earth. Then the inhabitants of the earth prayed to Lord Krishna for averting this disaster, and he obliged. He destroyed the Naraga planet and saved the earth. Which means our collective prayer is the key to anything, to his return and to save in this world. One time Swami declared, "Sadhus prayed and I have come." On another occasion he said, "This body has come through my resolve to come." So at the first instance, we may feel that these two statements are contradictory. Because on one hand, Swami says that he came because of the prayers of the sages. On another hand, he says that the Sai Advent was because of his own resolve to come. But when we go a little deeper, we can come to the conclusion that he was going to come, but he answered the prayers of the sages as a divine pretext. So in my humble opinion, it is from that perspective we should pray for his return, to provide him with that divine pretext, because he does not have any wish or any desires. It's up to us to call him and call him in one voice and give him that divine pretext. Also, we know the collective intensity of our prayers will lead to the critical mass, and there is nothing that pleases our Lord than when all of his devotees unitedly come together and pray. The prayers are so powerful that it can make anything happen. It's our duty to pray too.
Swami told, just one sentence I'll complete, told one lady right from childhood, she has been Swami's devotee, and one fine day, early days, she asked Swami, "Swamiji, how did Lord Krishna leave his body?" Swami gave. "Rama," Swami gave the answer. "Ram Krishna, this, that." She wanted to verify that he is Avatar and he knows everything. Then, mischievously, she asked Swami, "Swami, how will you leave the body?" Much earlier. Swami said, "I will not leave once, I'll leave twice."
In the dream, I could see the sea and many people gathered. Suddenly, a threatening thunderstorm was heard. People saw a most powerful lightning in the sky. All were looking over the sky and saying to themselves, "Something is happening in the sky." All of a sudden, a crack formed in the sky, like it was splitting into half. Then, a beautiful golden chariot came from the sky, but the chariot was empty. People started hearing Vedam being chanted in the sky, but no one was there. When everything was calm, at that moment, a light-like flash came into the golden chariot and turned into Swami. He was wearing a yellow robe and his face was glowing, shining bright like the sun. People looking at the sun saying, "Ah, Baba, 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 you are the one who was with us these many days. We missed you, Lord. Oh God, we didn't know you are God." I am sitting on the ground in a divine temple. Other devotees are also there, when suddenly Sai Baba appears sitting on his heavenly throne near me. I get up immediately and give my greetings to my beloved Lord by offering him all my love. He looks at me tenderly and asks me, "Have you finished your spiritual ritual, Mary?" I say yes to him. Then beloved Baba gets up saying this to all the devotees present. I withdrew from the ashram and the earth to observe and test my devotees. I wanted to see what they could accomplish when I was not physically present and if they integrated my teachings well. Now the time has come for me to return to earth. It was early hours. I was walking alone in Prashanti Nilayam towards Kalpavriksham and was speaking to Swami heart to heart, asking him, "Swami, when will you come?" Suddenly, to my amazement, Swami appeared along with a small, divine, radiant boy. He then asked me to follow him. Swami took me into his room where I saw a huge TV screen. Without a remote and with just a wave of his hand, Swami switched it on. We started seeing several people from around the globe. Some of them are known and familiar to me. Swami said, "This is the present problem happening with all those who are not being with truthful discrimination. They are being possessed by evil satanic spirits, making them slaves to the 6 vices and the ego. Always be self-observant and truthful. Judgment is from now, any time." I pleaded with Swami to come soon to save all. Then Swami said, "No more in the dreams. Now all will see me while saving the pure." In the dream, the sun was about to set. The sky started turning red. This red color now began to grow deep into various shades. To my astonishment, Swami appeared in the sky. In the next moment, he stood next to me. The moment he held my hand, my vision got adjusted and cleared, and then I could see 2 suns in the sky. I was shocked in disbelief and screamed, "Swami, I am now seeing 2 suns in the sky. Is this true?" As I did not get a reply from Swami, now breaking the absolute silence, I once again shook Swami's hand and asked him, "Swami, is it true?" Swami was intensely gazing at the sky. Then slowly turning towards me, he said yes. He continued, "People were given more time and many chances. Now it's time for the final change. It's the judgment time." I opened my eyes widely with a little fear and shock, asked, "Is this the sign, Swami, for the beginning of the end of the world?" He said firmly, "Yes. It's the time for the final warning. By the will of the divine, all the pure shall be saved. Don't worry." In the dream, I heard somebody ringing the doorbell continuously. I quickly rushed to the main door and opened it. I saw a man in white robes holding a white umbrella. I could see that he was holding some rolled up charts in his hand. My brother and I shouted with excitement, as it was none other than our beloved Swami. Now Swami spread the charts on a table on which I saw a title, New Earth Shambhala, written. Looking at us, he said, "You are all at the crossroads and the time is almost up. Soon, all the pure are going to reach Shambhala of the new earth." Then he showed us 3 charts. The first chart, it showed a new earth, which looked similar to the present earth, but was not the same, as it was brilliantly resplendent in a golden whitish light. The second chart, we saw the new world map of the new earth. The third chart, we saw the map of the heavenly city Shambhala. There, we could locate the divine abode on a hill, around which various constructions were shown with specific names, including an ancient temple marked on the map as Sanatana Mandir. Swami told us, New Earth Shambhala is fully dressed up and completely ready to receive all the pure from this old earth. It was dark outside, either early hours or late night. I was running atop the terrace of an apartment, and there were many people who were running along with me. Suddenly, I stopped as something within asked me to look up. I looked skywards and stopped wherever I was. What did I see? Behold, I saw huge stars, 3 or 4 of them clashing and merging and falling apart with each other. As I kept watching, a huge cross symbol resulted from the combination of the lights of the constellations. The Holy Cross it was. It occupied 1/4 of the dark sky and was illuminated with its own light, sparkling white. I again looked up at the sky, and now I heard a voice or an oracle. world would now witness the third secret of Fatima. I started shouting with joy and said to myself, the cross has appeared, the secret will be revealed. And then I danced in joy and noticed a procession on the street below. All the people were busy looking upwards from the roof, while something pushed me to look down. And whom do I see? Our beloved Swami, clad in white, looking so content and smiling as young as when he was 50 years old. In the dream, we were in the interview room. Then very emphatically, Swami told me that we are about to witness an exceptional moment in the history of mankind. It will be very soon, and that his power and glory will manifest in ways we had never seen or even imagined. That time is drawing close. Swami told me, my devotees should awaken from the dream. I am not the body or one form of God or the other, but all the names and all forms. How can that eternal and immeasurable God be limited to one shape? How can it be said that I attained a state of bliss or that I am in Samadhi or Mahasamadhi, when I as God am always in bliss and in fact I am bliss myself? If I am what you have always been looking for, I am the source itself of all happiness and bliss. O devotees, wake up, wake up, wake up. The time for which great sages and siddhas have been waiting for eons is fast approaching. Realize who I am, my reality of that omnipresence, that greatness and majesty, and prepare yourself for an extraordinary event that is about to unfold, in which I will return in ways that you can never imagine. Trust me, have complete faith and surrender. Very soon, all will realize my glory and greatness. Now you go around the world and spread my message. Tell all to be prepared. This is a great time and a great opportunity. Something extraordinary in the history of mankind is about to happen. The NBC station was running promos for a 60 minutes type show to air on Tuesday night all about Sai Baba. The headline was, Sai Baba, has he returned? There were still pictures of him in the promo, and you could see him on stage in front of people in several of them. These weren't just still pictures, as when I looked at them, he was alive in them and looking back. I was in a large gathering of people in a church basement. Sai Baba walked in from the back and up the right-hand aisle. Many people were stunned to see him and didn't know what to do. He was invited up on stage and gave a short talk. He then walked amongst the people, giving darshan. At one point, he walked over and stood right in front of me. I asked, how is this body different than your previous one? He replied, this body is made from adamantine particles. It is much harder to protect. Several of us began to wonder if we should organize a protection detail for his future appearances. Someone said, only if he asks us or wants us to. Otherwise, don't worry about it. He is in charge of everything. A policeman then showed up, quite bewildered. He was trying to take people's statements about what had just occurred. We told him that many people had digital cameras and took a lot of photos as evidence. I had a very beautiful dream of Swami. It was night. The sky was full of stars, and there was a celestial body moving at a fast rate, observable by earthlings. It was understood that this body will merely move very close, but will not collide with any planet. The whole world was stargazing. The moving body ended up colliding with the planet. The people were stunned, but the most miraculous thing was yet to occur. All the stars in the sky started moving around and forming some kind of a design and vanished. The whole sky showed the face, now familiar to only a few million people, a man with halo hair and orange robe. Yes, Sathya Sai Baba took up the entire sky. Swami looked upon the earthlings with a compassionate look. From then on, it was Swami, Swami everywhere. Swami directed people to be loving towards each other and guided them on many things. Swami suddenly appeared, woke me up from sleep, and powerfully declared, the earth is going to witness a huge event, so be careful. Saying thus, he disappeared. In the next instance, in my room, Swami suddenly reappeared and quickly rushed me to a huge window. I held Swami's hand tightly and started shouting to him, Swami, what is happening? How come the sky is changing colors? Swami intensely stared at me. After that, I observed that the colors of the sky changed, and the colors amalgamated to look like a huge peacock feather in which Mother Kali appeared. I was shell-shocked and unable to believe what I saw. Swami whispered in my ear very firmly, "It has started." My mother rushed into the room to see why I was shouting. Then both of us witnessed Sri Mahakali transform into Goddess Gayatri Ma. Then golden light dawned on a bright fine day, which was filled with a festive celebration, and all were celebrating the return of our beloved Swami. In Parthi, I saw Swami in a bright golden yellow dress. He waved his hand to the entire ocean of humanity who had thronged to see him. In the dream, I was resting on Swami's back as he was rocking in a rocking chair. I then asked him, "Why should such events take place in your divine abode?" I wept profusely and asked Swami, "What is this all about?" Then he looked intensely at me and smiled very lovingly and said, "Look at my Leela," where he showed me a scene in which Swami returned to Parthi, and his abode was guarded by military personnel. He looked very young and brilliantly graceful. The news of Swami's return was flashing on millions of television screens all through the world. I also saw the main cover page of a newspaper, in which a full page-size photo of Swami with a beard was printed, with the captions that Puttaparthi Baba returned. I also witnessed an ocean of people flocking towards Parthi. I saw Swami in a gigantic form reaching beyond the skies. I literally saw Swami's body transforming into a younger-looking radiant body, emanating light from every nerve and cell. I saw hordes of people rushing towards the top of the hill from below to reach and have Swami's darshan. As soon as Swami waved his hand as a gesture to start with, a man who looked Japanese stood up and asked Swami, "Are you the same Sathya Sai Baba who left the body in the year 2011? How can you prove it, that you are the same, as you are looking very young now?" For that, Swami answered, "God is beyond time, space, and causation. God is all knowledge, all power, all pervading. I, being God, can do anything to uplift the humanity and to restore the righteousness. I can disappear and reappear as many times as I want, at my will, in whichever the form I want, as what I will shall happen." The whole auditorium echoed with applause and amazement. In the dream, I said, "Swami, I missed you so much. I thought that I wouldn't live up to Poorna Avatar." Then I touched him to clear my doubt and asked, "Am I really seeing you, Swami, or is it my imagination? Will you be coming in the same form to earth or as Poorna?" Then Swami took some of the sweet dish and spoke to me very endearingly. "I have to be in this form till I complete my mission of bringing heaven to earth. Maya mind cannot understand my mastermind. This avatar's magnanimity is na bhuto na bhavishyati. There is no scope for speculation against Bhagwan's proclamation. When my physical form can raise your energy so much and give you heights of happiness, why cannot the very truth which I represent give you inspiration to pick up the truth once and for all? You all need to realize the truth that you and me are one. Choose the superconsciousness state of mind, not Maya consciousness. Know that being God is enlightenment, and becoming God is ignorance."
God descended as Avatar. He never died. Rama died, Krishna died, anyone not died. Why God died and put in Samadhi?
Yes.
Any Krishna Samadhi, Rama Samadhi is there. So I cried that time too. 2011 to fully. Why God have Samadhi Sayanam? He is Adishesa Sayanam. Why? Then only Swami said, you see nadis. I cry, I can't live, I lie, I die. Then we saw all the nadis telling, my nadis, Swami will come. Then for my crying and yearning, bring him back. Today also I wrote how chastity women in the world. Savitri bring 3 days, but 8 years I have no chastity. I cry. You don't tell. I would share come. Then only Sathya Yuga.
So,
When
Amma,
he come, then only Garbhakotam and has to be function started.
so Amma, in your book Chaitanya, I was reading Chaitanya today. The book you told me to read, I was reading again today, and in there it says, Swami says, when two Shaktis come together, then Purnama will begin, then Golden Age will come. So for Golden Age to come, Swami has to come back to unite with you. So Amma, why do we have to pray? Why do we have to pray and ask Swami? Why do we have to ask him? He will only come if we pray and ask him. So if all the devotees pray, Swami will then come.
Because Swami left his body because of our karmas.
Okay.
Any God not take karmas.
Okay.
This greatest God come here. 2003, two Swami and I took world people karmas. So Swami how much suffer. He cannot walk, then wheelchair. You see, last time he become lean,
Yeah, very thin.
like
Yeah.
that. We can't see his face also. Why? Because then admit in hospital.
Yeah.
Any doctor admit in, any God admit in hospital. Krishna admit and Rama Ayodhya hospital. Why? God think 1 minute it goes, but he showed to the world karmas,
Yeah. Correct.
how birth to death, everyone suffering karmas. But Swami showed how he suffered. Then he left the body. I am suffering, alone suffering. So everyone is the reason for his death, his suffering. So we all pray, forgive our karmas.
Forgive our
You
karmas.
come back, you come back. Then he come back. When he come, stupi function start. Full my sahasrara, Amrit, going out, star vibration. It fill up everywhere, everything, everyone. Then the earth become heaven. Kali Yuga becomes Satya Yuga. Man become Jivan Muktas. All like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, singing, dancing, only God.
Yeah.
I wrote all chapters. Whatever varnashram you live, brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasa, all Jivan Muktas. Thinking God. So, first, you are the reason. Everyone pray. Then God come, change.
Okay.
1,000 years.
Yeah.
Then second Kali, waiting. So now everyone realize pray to God.
So Amma, you said two things. One, because of our karma, Swami took the karma. So Amma, first I want to talk about that topic. Simple question. If we could see Swami suffer, and we all generally agreed that everyone, devotees said at different levels Swami took our karma, Swami took our karma. Amma, so why don't we still change? People seeing God suffer and they still don't change. They still do things that God's told them not to do. Why? Why doesn't people change?
When Swami come,
They'll change then.
Till that suffering.
Okay.
Then Swami give. That is I wrote.
Okay.
When the small child suffered, mother, father want to give medicine, but he run away. He bring and keep his, and like people not realize birth and death cycle, what is the reason? So this is karma. We give the mukti medicine compulsory.
Amma, beautiful answer. So Swami comes, now...
Compulsory we feed, then only they knows
Yeah.
what is the real life. The birth given to us, not to be born again.
Amma, thank you. Thank you for everything, for everybody you're helping. Now that's really clarified. Me and the person sitting behind the camera, we talk about this a lot because it hurts us. We look at friends, relatives, everything, and we think we don't understand why. Well, Amma, now it makes sense what you're saying. That is the big purpose of Swami coming back. People get inspired and say, I want to change now. That's what my thinking was. And Amma,
If
thank
they
you.
realize, they will get free.
Yeah, it's about realizing.
Otherwise, they not realize. Second Kali coming again. Same birth and death.
So, Amos, I don't like this topic, but we have to speak Satya. The ones who don't realize, and second Kali coming, what will happen to them when Swami comes? They will still stay here? I don't understand.
No, they not realize. There is, their karmas are there.
Okay.
It come.
So we'll have to continue. So Amma, the second point you made, so first one I understand. The second point is, we have to pray and say, Swami, come quickly. Now, Amma, when we made the return film, from what I remember, 1,000 people a day at a peak at the beginning, 1,000 people every day was watching the film that Swami's coming back. So considering it's a unique topic and quite specialized, it was a very good response. People were spreading it themselves. And at the end of that film you watched, Amma explained and said, the answer is we must pray and ask Swami to come quickly. Now from my understanding and the feedback I had, people were very inspired, Swami's coming, but they missed the point of our part, which is we have to pray. So Amma, how do we explain to people, very final thing, that it's very important to pray? How do we explain to people that please pray, it's very important? How can you explain that?
This is not, I said, reason. Everyone is the reason.
Everyone is the reason.
Reason for his.
Return.
This is, I wrote, Bhajya Govindam. Bhajya Govindam, Sankaracharya song.
Okay.
I changed.
Okay.
Bhajya Sai Ishwaram. Bhajya Sai Ishwaram. Sai Ishwaram Bhajya Mudamanandi. Everyone born from their mother's womb, up and down, lying.
Yeah, upside down.
How much the child, they are suffering. So, likewise, we Bhajya Sai Ishwaram, then we get free. We take 1 or 2 course practice in our life. We free from karmas. So I said, he is not Samadhi Sayanam. Punaravimananam, Punaravijananam, Punare Jadaresayanam, Jadaresayanam in the womb. But God, Punaravijananam, Lokabhuttaranam. For bird, he born.
Loka for the whole world. So we are all the reason for Swami to come back. So it's our natural love and duty that each one of us as individuals say, please come back quickly for us all. We're all the reason.
God had no birth, no death. Why we think? That is he showed. He born as a.
You know the Nadi book? The Nadi says Swami is coming. Every Nadi says who you are, who Swami is, and Swami is coming. So the concern is, a lot of people will get lazy, not pray, not do sadhana, because they just take it for granted Swami is coming. Swami is coming. So they don't do anything, they just wait. No sadhana, no praying, Swami is coming, we are waiting. How do we change their mind?
Do sadhana. Without sadhana, how we attain God? Do sadhana. I wrote on song. Do sadhana.
Amma, but if you see, even now you're saying do sadhana. Some people will think, if I do sadhana, I'll get God, but there's plenty of time for that. Swami is coming anyway, Swami is coming. But I don't know how to explain to people that it's God's lila, you can't understand it. If you don't do the sadhana, He won't come. Until you do it, He won't be destined to come.
Stupi song, do sadhana.
Stupid.
Amma, shall I read? Shall I read? Stupi song, do sadhana. O mad fellow of the world, what are you searching for? In the outside Maya world, what are you searching for? Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Go inside, go inside, go inside. Do sadhana, do sadhana. Go ahead, go ahead, go inside. In the darkness of the heart, one spark you find the light. God the indweller of the heart, hold Him tight, hold Him tight. Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Go inside, go inside, go inside. Do sadhana, do sadhana. Go ahead, go ahead, go inside. Make the light shine bright, remove the ignorance of the night. Cut the fruits of your sadhana, then you'll see the mukti star.
Oh, mad fellow of the world, what are you searching for? Oh, mad fellow of the world, what are you searching for? In the outside Maya world, what are you searching for? In the outside Maya world, what are you searching for? Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Go inside, go inside, go inside. Go inside, go inside, go inside. Do sadhana, do sadhana, do sadhana, do sadhana. Go ahead, go ahead, go inside. Go ahead, go inside. In the darkness of the heart, one spark you find the light. In the darkness of the heart, one spark you find the light. God the indweller of the heart, hold Him Remove the ignorance of the night. Make the light shine bright. Remove the ignorance of the night. Cut the fruits of your sadhana. Then you'll see the mukti star. Cut the fruits of your sadhana. Then you'll see the mukti star. Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Do you want pleasures? Do you want treasures? Go inside, go inside, go inside. Go inside, go inside, go inside. You sadhana, you sadhana, you sadhana, you sadhana. Go ahead, go ahead, go inside. Go ahead, go ahead, go inside.
A beautiful song. Oh look, we're talking about prayer, and coincidentally, the version Ahmad finds it in is called Prayer Book.
One book, if you want to take.
Amma, I'll take whatever you give me. You know which is the best book.
No, this.
This one is very appropriate for the occasion.
Yes,
We'll get a new one.
new book.
The film's about Baba coming back, right? And it's more about praying for Baba to come back.
In Putpati, the mountains, the same sort of thing happened, but Baba came from out of a cave and slowly walked on top of the mountains, but it was very fast, because obviously he's God, and then he put both of his hands up and gave blessings to everybody in Putpati and around the world.
There's like a book written of this other uncle, and he had similar dreams like you, but in his dreams, Putpati had turned massive. He goes, it turned more into like New York City. And there's like colonies, which is, in other words, different areas for people or visitors from different countries to come and stay. Another thing that was interesting about that uncle's dream was Swami was living in the mountains, right? Now, interestingly, when that uncle then went to Darshan, he asked Swami about it, and he wrote it all in his book. And Swami told his uncle, yes, what I showed you in the dream, that's going to happen. And you've also got the same message, that Swami was in the mountain. So a lot of people are, having similar dreams. I myself have had similar dreams. My dream was, I was with a close friend of mine, and we were looking out the window of a building in Putpati, and on the mountain, we were like looking for that, and lots of people were trying to crowd up and get the same view, right? And what was happening is Baba had come back, but Baba wasn't staying on Prashanti like other people's dreams. He was living on the mountains, right? And everybody was trying to get a glimpse of him. So again, Astra had a dream about staying in the mountain, and other people have as well. And this Ma that's going to call him back for Sathya Sai, what she said is when Baba was here, so many people could go close to him. Because Baba he was, but he pretended he wasn't in his full power. When he comes this time, he'll be like full glory Baba in Bhagwan's power. And most people will see him from far. But some people will get a chance to be close to him, like big yogis and important leaders of the world and real genuine devotees. But most people will get lucky, they'll be happy that they even got to see him like a little dot far away.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of it's similar. And that Ma, who you're talking about, was in the last film. And you know how the last film ended? The whole film went, then Vasanta Sai Amma, Ma's at the end, and she said, we have to all pray, then we'll come. And why I know that is because the second film had other messages recently that it has to be focused on. Everyone has to pray for him to come, right? So basically it was interesting that Ma, the last thing she said in the last film at the end of her interview was, we have to pray for him to come. Because she knew she was giving an answer that this film is about Baba coming, for people who don't know, right? Or people who know and want to learn more about it. That Swami's coming, we all have to pray. Everybody get together, unite and pray. And Ma's been telling them, the real reason I've come is to call Swami back.
So the dream when Baba's coming from the sky, Baba comes back from the sky as a ball of light, and Ma puts her hand up as if to say, Swami, please come back now, the people have learnt their lesson. And then Swami comes back, and as Baba comes back, all of the other Bhagwans come back with him as well.
Like I had a dream that one of them was like yours from the sky. But before I tell you my dream, what's interesting is other devotees around the world have had dreams the same of the light and everything what you said. Like a ball of lights in the sky and Baba comes out of it. Actually, we just read one of another lady that had that dream similar to yours. And Ma and Baba was in it. And there was light in it. And he came out the light. And Ma and Baba gave darshan at the same time.
But it wasn't like he comes out of the light. The ball of light comes down to earth. And then slowly the light fades away, becoming Baba.
Wow, amazing. So, my dream was I was in Prashanti Nilayam Ashram. And you know when you're going from the front gate and there's Ganesh Bhagwan? So around there, sometimes people have places to sit. And I was there, and on my right-hand side was Cyclone Hall, the hall we go to, right? So I was standing there, and suddenly, like the size of when we watched dinosaur movies, a massive snake came, huge, going past me. And it was kind of scary for a second. And then it was just fascinating. You knew there was something to do with God, divinity about it. It was like Bhagwans. Then a second one came. Then a third one came. Then I remembered that once I had this, asked this uncle who's been with Baba for years in the ashram, why is the snakes when we walk into the ashram, the murtis, the statues, right opposite Ganesh Bhagwan? So first we get to the snakes and then there's Ganesh Bhagwan when you enter. And that uncle said, oh, really good question. No one asked that before. Because before God comes, the snakes come. So I thought, in the dream, these massive snakes are going by, and I thought, I remembered all that, and I said, oh, Baba's coming back. That's why the snakes came first, right? And then, soon as I thought that, I looked up, and right in the sky, above the ashram, huge giant Baba had appeared.
Wow.
But he was kind of like moving, like he's looking down as a giant around the ashram, moving along. But as he moved, like in your dream, he kind of got smaller and smaller and smaller, like he's come down now to spend time with us. And the best thing we can do with that is pray.
Pray.
prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat om bhurva swaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi Deyo yona prachodayat
భక్తులు ప్రార్థన చేస్తుంటారు.
Devotees pray.
ఈ ప్రార్థన వల్ల కలిగేటువంటి ఫలితం ఏమిటి అని
What?
సందేహించవచ్చును.
We may doubt the result of prayer.
కానీ ప్రార్థనల వల్ల ఎంతో వైభవం జరుగుతుండాలి.
Through prayer you can accomplish
ఎంతో
greatest.
ఘనమైన విజయాన్ని సాధిస్తుండాలి.
You will have the mighty victory.
మానవుడు సాధించలేనటువంటి విషయాన్ని కూడా సాధించగలుగుతున్నాడు.
Impossible things can be made possible by prayer.
ఒక చిన్న విషయము.
A small example.
నేను ఏ మందు తీసుకోను.
Bhagavan does not take any
దీనికి
medicine.
నేను ప్రయత్నించను.
He doesn't take any medicine.
కానీ 10 దినముల నుంచి కూడాను ఇక్కడ పెద్దగా వాదింది.
But for the last 10 days there is a swelling on the cheek.
నిన్నటి దినము నేను గమనించాను.
Yesterday Bhagavan observed,
అందరూ వచ్చిన వారందరూ కూడాను వారి దృష్టి నా ముఖం పైన పోవటం లేదు, నా యొక్క చెక్కు పైన పోతుండాలి.
all that have assembled here are concentrating on the swelling on the cheek, not on Bhagavan.
స్వామి ఇంకా తగ్గలేదే, ఇంకా తగ్గలేదే, ఎంత బాధ ఉందో ఏమో అని ఒక బాధపడుతూ వచ్చారు.
All are feeling so sad that Bhagavan had no relief till now and that he is feeling, that he is suffering.
రాత్రి అనగా సాయంకాలము వ్యాలిడిటీ మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు నేను ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నానో నాకే తెలియదు.
Last evening, while Bhagavan was giving us a discourse during the valedictory function, he didn't know what he was speaking at that moment.
కానీ లోపల వెళ్ళాను,
Bhagavan went inside
పండుకున్నాను.
and he just rested.
ఈ భక్తుల యొక్క ప్రార్థనలన్నీ కూడాను కుప్పలు కుప్పలు వచ్చాయి.
All prayers of the devotees reached him.
స్వామి రేపటికి గురుకోండి,
Bhagavan,
రేపటికైనా మీరు ఆనందంగా సరైనటువంటి స్థితిని మీరు మాకు దర్శింపచేయాలి.
Bhagavan, tomorrow is Guru Poornima. Be normal. We want to see you in your true form.
తెల్లవారు లేచాను,
Bhagavan got up this morning.
ఒక్క నొప్పి లేదు, ఒక్క బాధ లేదు.
No pain whatsoever.
నేను ఇది నయం కావాలని నేను సంకల్పించలేదు.
And in fact, he has not willed it so.
కానీ ఆ ప్రార్థనల యొక్క ఫలితమే ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క దీనికి ఆనందానికి కారణం.
The bliss of this day is the response to prayers.
చాలా మంది భోజనం కూడా చేయలేదు.
Many have not taken their food.
రేపటి దినం ఎంతో ఆనందించవలసినటువంటి సమయము.
Tomorrow Guru Poornima is a blissful day.
ఎట్లా మేము దర్శించే తెల్లవారు లేస్తారే,
Tomorrow what is that I am going to see?
అని ప్రార్థనలు చేస్తూ కంటిదారాలతో వారు కష్టపడుతూ వచ్చారు.
All devotees were shedding tears and praying continuously.
ఒక్క నిమిషంలో నా మనసు వారిపైన పడింది.
Bhagavan concentrated his thought for a fraction on the devotees.
నేను తలుచుకోలేదు నాకు న్యాయం కావాలని.
In fact, he has not willed it for any cure.
ఎప్పుడూ నేను తలచను.
Bhagavan never thinks of himself.
నేను మీరు ఒక్కటే.
You and I are one.
మీరు ప్రత్యేకం కాదు, నేను ప్రత్యేకం కాదు.
Bhagavan is not separate from you.
ఇది నా దేహం కాదు, మీ దేహమే.
In fact, the body of Bhagavan belongs to you.
కాబట్టి మీ దేహాన్ని మీరు చూసుకోవడానికి మీ కర్తవ్యమే.
So it's your duty to maintain and take care of your
నేను
body.
ఎప్పుడు కూడా నా దేహాన్ని ఎప్పుడు కూడా నేను చూసుకోను.
Bhagavan will never think of his own body.
ఇది
No.
నయం కావాలని కానీ, ఇది జరగాలని కానీ ఏ సంకల్పము నేను చేయను.
Bhagavan never wills regarding his
ఆ
body.
స్వార్థము నాలో ఏనాడు కూడా లేదు.
There is no selfishness, even iota in him.
స్వార్థం అనేటువంటిది నా కాలి గోరు నుంచి వెంట్రుక కొన వరకు కూడా నాలో కనిపించదు.
Right from top to toe, there is no trace of selfishness in Bhagavan.
కనుకనే ఐ అండ్ యు ఆర్ వన్ అనడానికి ధైర్యము, ఒక విధమైనటువంటి అధికారము ఉంటుండాలి.
Therefore, there is every right and authority when you declare that I and you are one.
కనుక ప్రతి మానవుని యందు కూడా ఉండినటువంటిది అణుశక్తి ఒక్కటే.
Therefore, the same atomic power is present in every one of us.
मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है, जरा झांको तो पाओगे कि साईं पास होता है। ओ करिश्मा ये उसी का है कि दुनिया खूबसूरत लगती है, वरना आदमी को आदमी क्या रास होता है। साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए। चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए। साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए। जब से देखा तुझको साईं मेरे, दर्श के प्यासे नैना सांझ सवेरे। जब से है देखा तुझको साईं मेरे, दर्श के प्यासे नैना सांझ सवेरे। मिट मर जाए तुझ पे हमसे न रूठे तू, जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यूं, जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यूं, जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यूं। मन मंदिर से जाओ न सारे, मन मंदिर में चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न तू मेरा दिल मेरी धड़कन, तू ही है मंजिल मेरी। मेरा जीवन तेरा दर्शन, मेरी सब सांसें भी तेरी। तुझ पे कुर्बान होए जीवन, तुझ पे कुर्बान होए जीवन। अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, बस तमन्ना है ये मेरी। तुझ पे कुर्बान हो ये जीवन, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, बस तमन्ना है ये मेरी। साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए। चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा
भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्